Hello, friends. Toxic moms think they're always right, but their actions prove just how wrong they really are. So stay tuned to hear about a couple of toxic moms who really just need a reality check. Let's get into it. All right. This is from, I think it's called Cora. I'm not quite sure of the name, the way to say the name, but there are people out there like us, like me, probably like you if you're watching this, and if you're connecting with even just the title, maybe just a thumbnail of this video. People like us out there who are asking questions, who want advice, who need to know what to do, and that's something that I want to do on this channel. I want to talk about what people are going through and relate to it in terms of what I've gone through and maybe what you've gone through if you feel like sharing and just thriving together and coming together as a community. All right. Might have had a little bit of a disconnection here, but we're trying to reconnect. One of these days, I'll get a new computer that can handle the load of these live streams. All right. Well, let's continue, anyways. So, Holly says, I am basically living in a cave called my bedroom. There's been times that I go Saturday and Sunday and don't even eat because I don't want to leave my room or sneak down there in the middle of the night or when she goes out in the yard to water her flowers. And sorry, it looks like I've been disconnected, so I'm going to try to fix that now. Let's try and get this reconnected, get this back and popping. Get the avatar back on the screen. Connecting, and we're good. Awesome. Welcome back to me. Okay, so I'm going to read this again. So Holly says, I'm basically living in a cave called my bedroom. There's been times that I go Saturday and Sunday and don't even eat because I don't want to leave my room, or I'll sneak down there in the middle of the night, or when she goes out in the yard to water her flowers, I'll sneak into the kitchen. So she's talking about her mom. She believes that her mom is a narcissist. I'm not here to diagnose anyone, but I will say that if someone feels like they need to do all of this, there's a good chance that their parent or whoever they're talking about is a narcissist. Now, oh no, I lost my desk. There we go. Let's bring this back. Bear with me. I am a new VTuber. I am still a little new, but I just want to change my expression. Here we go. So let's be a little less happy because this is not a good thing. And I can totally relate to what Holly is talking about because I have been there. I go to my next slide here. This was me just a few years ago, less than 5 years ago, in fact. I was living the exact same way that Holly mentioned. Going back to what Holly said for a sec, she said that she was living in a cave. I'm basically living in a cave called my bedroom. That was me. That was me. I was literally not leaving my room. And it wasn't because my mom was just, oh, so annoying. It was because she would be emotionally, mentally, psychologically, and physically, sometimes physically abusive. And she just wanted me to be around all the time. I don't want to skip ahead in my notes though, so we'll get to it. Let me see here. Checking my notes. Give me a second, folks. Thank you. Thank you kindly. So, like I said, this is how I lived a few years ago. This is how I was living, and this is um, I wasn't always living like that, but I was an adult daughter of a narcissistic mom, and I hadn't handled life properly. So I ended up needing to live at home with her again. I had to move back in with her. And I had done that a few times in my life, and every time I did that, it got worse. Um, and this particular time, she was just on a rampage more than usual because, like I said, it got worse every time I moved back in with her. And I've done that several times throughout my life over the years. Like I said, my mom was both emotionally and physically abusive to me. There were times when I had to, like, literally, there was at least one time, maybe a couple, where I literally had to, like, scurry out of her path just to avoid her touching me. And she wasn't a puncher. She wasn't someone who was trying to, like, get at me to like hurt me. She was a, let's call her a creepy mom. Stick with me, and we'll get into that. You can find out more about what I've experienced, over time. But for now, we'll just call her a creepy mom. So I had to literally jump out of her path to avoid her touch. So yeah, we'll get into creepy narc parents in the future. Um, my narc mother wanted me to wake up and go to sleep at the exact same time as her every day, or she probably would have been okay with around the same time, uh, because she wanted as much access to me as possible. She wasn't, now, I don't want anyone to get confused. She wasn't like this lonely soul who just needed, oh, I want my daughter with me at all times because I'm so lonely. She was a vampire and she wanted her supply of energy blood around at all times. Trust me, she just wanted me around so that she could mess with me all day long, so she could nitpick, so she could literally just put me down as much as possible. She wanted as much access to me as she could so that she could be creepy. I won't get into how. And that's how she was. And if I had given into that, then I'm sure she would have been happily knock knocking on my door every morning. It's time to wake up. I'm up, so you must be up. Like she wanted me around, and what she wanted was for the two of us to just sit down on the couch the whole day. This was happening, by the way, during the pandemic. So there was kind of little else to do than sit down on the couch and watch TV. We did spend a lot of time together watching CNN. At one point, I think I moved in with her and moved out and then moved back in with her and then out again. I think I did that a couple of times at the start of the pandemic. So we're talking 2020 into 2021. Um, so yeah, there were, yeah, I've got the timeline right. So there were a couple of times when I did that. Um, and yeah, she wanted just, I must be right there with her on this like three-seater couch. We must sit there and be there together all day long. And then she would turn to me and say something nasty, turn to me and be rude, turn to me and whatever, or try to touch me, or we'd be in the kitchen. um, it got to the point where I said, look, I'm going to cook my food. I just need 30 minutes, maybe 1 hour in the kitchen. You can have the whole rest of the gosh darn day. Okay. So why don't so you tell me, what 30-minute to 60-minute time period can I have so that I can cook my little food, make my little whatever, so that I have something to eat? No, 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 no need for you to make me anything to eat. Thank you so much for offering. I will do it myself, but you let me know what works for you. Let me tell you how every single time I tried to get her to agree to a time, she would make sure she was in the kitchen. But I have to be able to get water. I have to be able to get snacks. If she really had wanted to work with me, to make sure that, um, even if I was totally crazy, that I was comfortable, which I wasn't. Wasn't comfortable, definitely wasn't crazy. She was the crazy one because narcissism is a mental health issue. But even if she had wanted to work with me, even if she had been, in her right mind and wanting to work with me and thinking, oh, okay, poor Serafina, let's just, appease her. She would have taken her extra water or filled her cup of water just before my cooking time period had started. She would have gathered a couple of snacks so that she could make sure she wasn't in the kitchen for just 30 to 60 minutes. Who needs to be in their kitchen all day long? Who needs to be in their kitchen every single hour? No one, and not her. So she could have done that, but she didn't want to because she wanted to terrorize me. She wanted to annoy me. She loved to see me aggravated. She loved to see me angry. She loved to see me hurt. All of those things. That's why she wanted me to wake up and go to bed at the same time as her every day, because she wanted as much time as possible to take those opportunities as much as possible. She wanted to just get at me. Like I said, I was her energy blood. She was the energy vampire. It looks like I might have someone who's tuned in. Welcome. Please feel free to chat with me. And yeah, and either way, thanks for watching. All right, so like I said, so this person who's sneaking out of their room, literally, I'm not joking. This was literally me. This was literally me. I oh, I remember sharing this with a coach. I think she was a narcissistic abuse coach. I think I've tried a couple of those. I tried therapy. Some coaches who'd said that they were, like experts, had experienced narcissistic abuse. And I just remember crying when I thought about how, not about the fact that I was sneaking down the stairs early in the morning to get something just so I could have some water and food for the day. Not because she was blocking me from getting food or water, but because, like I said, she would terrorize me. She would try to get really, really close to me all the time. Or she would just be verbally abusive. Like it was just one or the other with her. So, and there were the times when she wanted me to think everything was calm so that she could, boom, surprise me with whatever attack she had coming next. And I was tired. I totally low energy around her because she was really good at sapping my energy. I felt weak. I felt I was being constantly gaslit because, oh, but I'm not doing anything wrong. Why do you think I'm doing anything wrong? Like, just those constant conversations with her were just sapped my energy, sapped my strength. And then just kind of feeling like a puppet, like she was pulling strings. And my act of defiance was sneaking downstairs to boil some water, and I put it into like a little thermos thing I had so that I could sip that throughout the day so I could have some warm water because I was really liked having warm water. She would, this was a game for her, so she would later in the morning come downstairs and touch the kettle and then let me know that she knew I had been up because she could see that the kettle had been used. And I think my next step after that was boiling my water at night, putting it into the thermos so that then the kettle was nice and cool when she woke up in the morning because I had boiled the water and then let it sit in the thermos for like 8 hours until I was ready to start sipping it. Oh my gosh. When I think about it, like I, she was so controlling that my defiance was sneaking downstairs. And those stairs were creaky. Oh my god, those stairs were so friggin' creaky. Why were they creaking? It was a new house. It didn't make any sense actually. Anyways, so I avoided my mom. I was in my room for, I remember when I thought about it, like at the time, I think I was in my room for like 20 hours a day. I was just in my small bedroom. I wasn't in some like palatial, huge master bedroom. She had the master bedroom. I just had a regular room. Um, small compared to other bedrooms, not as small as it could have been. So I was lucky in that regard. It was big enough to fit a queen bed, and then I could put like a chair beside that. And when I say chair, I don't mean like a comfy chair. I mean like think of like one of those straight backed school chairs. There was just enough room between any side of the bed and a wall to put one of those chairs. So that gives you an idea of the size of the room. And I was in there, basically on my bed or in a chair for 18 hours a day. And when I was working, I was lucky enough to land an online job during the pandemic. So there were times when I'd just be working and I'd have my laptop on the edge of the bed, and I would sit with my one leg on either side. So I had my laptop on like the corner, so I could put my legs one on either side of the corner of the bed. So yeah, there was just enough room for me to have that chair and have my legs on either side of the corner of the bed with my laptop there, and I did my work, and I just was in my room, and I would try not to go to the washroom and unless I knew she was downstairs or out of the house. So I was just constantly listening. And this might seem weird when you look at this picture. It might seem weird, like, this person's there listening. They're kind of being sneaky. Let me tell you, my mom was sneaky too. And that's why I resonate so hard with this picture. I'm there listening, trying to figure out where in the house is she, because I couldn't always tell. But she was constantly keeping tabs on where I was too, and she liked to pop out. It surprised me. Not that often. She didn't get an opportunity to do it that often because I was pretty good at locating her. And being younger, I think I had just better ears, just better hearing in general. But yeah, it was a tough time. This wasn't fun for me. It was fun for her because it's cat and mouse for her. But it was not fun for me. It was an extremely toxic situation. It was extremely trying on my system in terms of my health. My physical health was just not good. It wasn't good to be cooped up in the room, but I didn't really have any other options. I was in a city where I didn't know anyone else, because when I moved to join her, I was away from anyone else that I knew. Not that I had anyone. I was one of those people that you might have seen on the internet. I currently am as well. Still, one of those people who have. I've got one. I'd say I've got one friend. I'm lucky in that way. I've got one friend, but other than that, I've got for years. I had no friends, no friends, no basically no friends, no family. I had to go and cut off everyone in my family because of this situation. We'll talk more about that in the future. So, long story shorter than it could be. I avoided her at all costs. I happily stayed in my room for 18 to 20 or more hours per day. I happily snuck out of my room when I could to get what I needed to go right back into my room just to avoid her. Um, I, I, I remember, I remember a time when she would like knock on my door and she'd say, Serafina, why aren't you coming out of your room? And I'd say, oh, no, I'm fine, mom. I'm fine. I just, I want to be here. I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for checking. One tip, if I can give you one tip at this point, it would be do not tell the narcissist that something is wrong. They're not going to fix it. If you have any clue as to what a narcissist is, if you've truly lived with one, you know they're not going to fix the issue. They will. Now every narcissist is different because they're all unique. Just they're human, so just like anyone else, they are unique. So they'll have their own way of dealing with things, and they'll have their own creative ways of bringing you hell. Let's put it that way. So if I had told my mother that something was wrong, she would, knowing her, she would have either gaslit me and told me that it was all in my head, that nothing's wrong. She would have, and maybe I guess this would be part of gaslighting, convincing me that I'm the problem. She was good at that. That worked for, earlier on in my life, but eventually, by the time I became an adult, I knew it was her. I knew it's not me. And there were years when I was like still iffy about it. Like, is it me? No, it was not me. It was definitely not me. And I'm glad. I'm so grateful that I realized that because I come across people who are just figuring this out very late in life, like retirement age. So I was lucky to figure this out when I did, and I'm hoping part of the reason for this channel is I'm hoping to help people realize it earlier. I'm hoping that younger people can realize what's going on, recognize toxicity like this in their life, and get the hell away from it as soon as possible. Okay, so I went far away from my notes. Now it's time to get back on track. So, like I said, she wanted us to have the same sleep schedule, so she would have as much access to me as possible. Oh, and going back to just finishing off my previous thought, do not let a narcissist know that something's wrong. They are not going to fix it. They will find a way to use it against you in whatever creative way they can, in as many ways as they can. Um, and yeah, basically, you just be giving them an opportunity to rant and rave in your face. So don't do it. Keep it to yourself. No, just act like everything is fine. Just act like everything's fine. Knock, knock, knock. Why aren't you coming out of your room? Oh, I'm good. Thanks for checking. I'm just relaxing. Yeah, I'm just gonna do some stuff here. Oh, bye. Just do your best. Whatever. You're a creative individual too, and you know your narcissistic parent, your toxic parent, better than anyone else. So I'm sure you'll be able to find the right words, the right scenario, the right story, whatever it is to use to keep away from them as much as possible. Do you? Do you, boo boo? Do you? Let me see. Oh, there was a point when my mom was concerned about the amount of additional electricity I was using because I had realized that I didn't need to be awake during the day. I decided to become what, like a bat or an owl or something. And I decided, well, there's no reason for me to be up during daylight hours when she's up. She goes to sleep at night. That's when I can be up. And then I could go downstairs and have the whole downstairs. I could have the kitchen to myself. I could have the living room with the TV to myself. I wouldn't be able to play the TV loudly, but I could be downstairs while she's asleep. Hey yo, like let's do that. I was so happy when I figured that out. When I had that when I came to that realization. So, uh, my mom was concerned about the amount of additional electricity I was going to be using, and so I said, well, you know what? No problem. I'll give you money. Why don't I give you an extra $100 a month? Or something like that. Like, why don't I pay you for the difference? Like, we can compare previous bills to what it is now, and I'll just pay you. Like, that's fine. It's not a problem. And she was just like, no, there was no reason. Why not take the extra money? If you're concerned about the extra electricity that's being used, take the money because your problem is that you'll be paying. Your problem should be that you're paying more. She doesn't care about the environment, so that wasn't it. She was supposedly concerned about the money, that the extra money that it would cost, and I wasn't directly paying the electricity bill. I was giving her some money to live with her, but I wasn't paying for the electricity bill myself. So her concern should have been based on the money. Did she want the money? No. So then what are we talking about? Like if it like let's go there in our mind. Let's take a mental trip together. If you're concerned about extra electricity and you don't give a gosh darn about the environment, then your concern is probably about the money, right? It's probably about the money. Now, if you don't want the money, then what are we talking about? Is there a mental wall in front of you, just like there is in front of me? Because make it make sense, folks. Please make it make sense. It doesn't make any sense. If you are concerned about electricity, probably because, well, actually, I think, yeah, actually, what she said was, for sure, what she said was, it's going to cost more. I'll give you money. No. Well, what do you mean, no? If you're concerned about the money and I'm going to give you the money, then honey, what's the problem? So, like I said, I was already in the know. I'd already known for years that my mom is a narcissist. I'd already known for years that she's a problem. I'd already known for years, well, not as many years, but I'd already understood for at least a few years by that point, by the pandemic, start of the pandemic, that She just wanted access to me at all times. So um, I did what I had to do. Can you guess? I'll give you a second. Okay, if you're watching, put in the chat. If you're watching, put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. People, put it in the chat. Put it in the comments. Put it where you can put it so I can see it, please. What do you think I did? Did I just say, okay, I'll just wake up and sleep on your schedule so we can be awake at all times and then there's no extra electricity? That's option one. I'm not going to tell you the other options. So, what do you think? Hmm. Haha. I will tell you what I did, folks. What I did was I said, not a problem. I won't turn on the lights. When I'm awake during the day, I'll keep them off. I sat in my room for 18 plus hours a day with the lights off. I sat in my room for 18 hours a day with the lights off. And actually, now that I think about it, this actually didn't happen. Oh, you know what, guys? I think I made a mistake. This didn't happen when I had decided to stay up all night. This just happened. This happened when my mom and I were still both awake during the day. What she didn't want me to do was to be up in my room. So it was even more obvious. So my bad, mistake, but still proving my point. She just didn't want me up in my room. She thought she and I should both be down in the living room together all day long. So she didn't want me up in my room with the light on in my room. She didn't want two lights on in the room. Two people in the house, but in her mind there should only be one light on. Make it make sense. As an adult, I'm not allowed my own space and to go do something else. I have to sit down there with you, Padunky, on the couch all day long. Now, don't get me wrong. I was down with watching CNN all day long, but not with her because she would do all kinds. No. So yeah, so that didn't work for me. So I sat in my room, like with my computer on, but I sat in my room in the dark all day long. In the dark all day long. Was I glad about it? Yes. You know why? Because I didn't have to sit with her. Those were hours and hours that I saved myself from being in her presence. Probably saved my life. All right, so let's get back to Holly. My goodness, I can digress. Let's go. Continuing with Holly. So the last thing I need to check off on my to-do list is getting away from her. Yes. Yes. Holly, yes. Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy. Let's celebrate. Yes, Holly. Yes, absolutely. I totally agree with this. I'm so glad to hear that Holly realizes that this is not a normal situation. When you are in a situation where you've got to sneak into the kitchen to get food and even go a couple of days a week without any food just to stay away from somebody, it's like, so let me put it this way, because there might be some people listening to this, there might be someone watching this video now or in the future who just does not understand what this feels like, and that's okay. If you've never had this happen to you, I'm very happy for you. You've probably been through something else in life, and I'm not trying to say, hey, you should know. I'd rather no one know what this is like because it's ridiculous. It is stupid. It is, oh my gosh. Like, I mean, I wish my avatar would show my hand. Like, I'm putting my hand to my head, like, what? Like, seriously, seriously, what? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So I'm so happy to hear that Holly is or was getting away from this person, because when you think about it, it's like we've gone back. People in this situation, it's like going back to life as a caveman. or a cave woman as cave people, and needing to sneak around and where's the dinosaur? Or where's the lion? And run, and get the food. And eat the food. And where's the lion? Where's my house? Where's my cave? Can I go back quickly? Run, jump, run. And we're safe. Like that, that's what it's like. That's what it's like. You're staying away from this dinosaur lion person who literally wants to devour you. This narcissist literally want to eat your soul. And when there's no more soul, then they'll have to find somebody else. But they'll keep eating. It's like we are an energy buffet. It's not interesting. One sec, I've got to take a note. I'm coming up with some stuff, possibly for future streams. We're an energy buffet. Where's my note window? There it is. One sec. We are an energy buffet. Wow, that's what it is. My mother wanted to gorge on my energy all day long, and she wanted me to. She had lit, and when I say she wanted me to stay awake and go to bed, she wanted us to be up at the same time. She had literally talked to me about bedtimes, and actually, so this is what my mother did, and I'm sure, like I said, human beings are unique. Everyone has their own unique spin on things. We are creative, right? When you like think about it this way, guys. Let me paint a narcissistic picture for you. So we're all unique. There are writers who write things, and that one writer writes this amazing thing, one writer writes something in a completely different style and it's also amazing, and that we're just unique. We have all these different ideas. Painters paint things. There's cubism, there's this, there's that. I mean, I'd list more, but my gosh, I don't remember what they are. But when there is dance, and different ways to dance, there are different ways to sing, there are different ways to express ourselves, and how we dress, and how we tattoos, how we do our hair, makeup, everything, and everything in life, how we decorate our homes, everything, how we pimp out our cars, everything. There are different ways to express ourselves, and narcissists have the same thing. That's why you might I've heard about narcissists who, like burn, like take dolls away from children or burn them or something like that. Like these are narcissistic parents that do this crap. And then there are narcissistic parents that beat their kids, maybe even beat their adult children. Who knows? Anything and everything's happening out there, guys. So what my mom had done, so ridiculous. Like, so what she had done was she had told me, she turned to me. Now I'm a woman. And I don't mean like I'm an 18-year-old woman, and even if I was 16, 17, 18, I don't know, maybe not 16. I don't know what 16-year-olds are doing now. I think they're much more independent than I would even expect. But as a woman who was already fully grown, she turned to me once or twice and said, "It's time to go to bed." Excuse me? No, I'm good. I'm good here. Thank you. I'm gonna continue sitting here watching CNN, and that's when I realized she wanted us to be on the same schedule. She wanted me to get some rest so that I'd be awake, so the next morning around the time that she was awake, so that she would have all the gosh darn day to gorge on my energy buffet. All right. Oh my gosh, I can talk. All right. Well, it looks like someone's still with me. I don't think that's me in Twitch, is it? Is that me? Am I in my own Twitch? Nope, that's not me. Hey, okay, well, whoever's watching, thank you. Please feel free to comment. Feel free. I'm going to send you a hello. I'm gonna send you a howdy, 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 partner. All right. So as I was saying, I'm so glad that Holly's moving because the situation is not only ridiculous, not it's not an awkward situation. It's worse than a ridiculous situation. It's like anyone who causes someone to feel that way, anyone who's so controlling and just so horrible to be around that a person needs to avoid them by taking the measures that Holly took, taking the measures that I took, needing to we're to the point where we need to sneak out of our room just like this picture shows. Anyone who's like that should be condemned. Anyone who's like that should go straight to jail. Anyone who's like that should be put on an island with other toxic people so that they can just be toxic with each other. And I don't know what would happen. What? Oh my gosh, that's another. Write that down. I mean, I guess I'm writing down the idea of like a whole lot of toxic people, um, um, a whole lot of toxic people being on an island together. But I guess we kind of see that with reality shows, don't we? I'm also gonna write it down. Hmm, fantastic. All right. Well, I sent out the howdy. Please feel free to chat. Let's keep going. And you know what, guys? If you're watching this in the future, and it would be on YouTube. If you're watching this in the future and you want to share your story, have you ever experienced this? Did you have to sneak out of your room early in the morning or late at night or at any point in the day? Did you have to listen like I did for when my mother left to go somewhere so you could finally go downstairs and have some freedom in the house? Did you ever feel so incredibly controlled that it's almost like a physical thing, like you could feel like a harness around you or like strings coming out of your joints because this person was just playing you? Please let me know in the comments. I would really love to connect with you and to hear your stories. Okay, let me see. What else do we have here? Got a little bit more to chat about. So I'm happy for Holly. Hope she got out. Holly girl, if you see this, please comment. Please reach out. Let me know. I'd love to interview you, find out more. So just like Holly, I had made the decision to move. I made a list of things that I needed to do in secret so that I could get away from my narc mom. And I'm here today because I did it successfully. Um, I just celebrated the 3-year anniversary of my move a week ago. So it has been to as of today, it's been 3 years and 1 week since I've seen my mom. It's an individual choice. Each person needs to make their own choice. Let me go back to the right slide. We all need to make that choice. I decided to go no contact. I'm currently kind of no contact, a little bit low contact. I decided to let her back into my life, but I live so gosh darn far away that there's no way that she's gonna boom come back in. It's not happening. I needed to move far away from my mom to make sure that I didn't feel tempted to move back. So that's what helped me because otherwise I'd probably be living with her again and things would probably be so much worse than before. And like I said before, every time I moved back in with my mom, things got worse. So, what about you? Have you experienced that? Did you go no contact, go low contact, move away, move back, or just get back in touch and things got worse? Please let me know in the comments. All right, moving along. So Holly says, and yes, I have learned that even though I am an open book, I cannot be with her because she has sabotaged, 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 oh gosh, every plan that I've had for the last 3 years. So sorry to hear that, girl. Um, I understand. If you've ever had a parent or any narcissistic, any toxic person in your life sabotage you, let me know in the comments because I already feel you. I know what that's like. If you say that you're going to do something, um, they will do it first. Or I don't know, maybe for you it's different. Maybe they'll do it and they'll do it better. Or they'll tell everyone they did it. Like everyone I'm sure will have a different experience with that with sabotage. But sabotage is probably something that's common. Probably something that I wonder if every narcissist, every toxic person does that. But you know what? Like I can't say that they would. Why? Because they'll each have their own proclivities. They'll each have the tools in their narcissistic tool belt that works best for them. So probably not every narcissist would sabotage. Um, they'll do whatever works best for them, whatever they're good at, whatever they kind of learned along the way and became skilled at, right? But yeah, um, if you're with someone, if you've got anyone in your life, a parent, anyone at all, who sabotages you, who puts you down, who verbally abuses you, who physically assaults you, get away from them. That's just get away from them as fast as you can. I'm sorry that you're going through that. All right, so next slide. Holly also says she has to keep me down to keep control over me and my daughter. So it sounds like this narcissistic mom was controlling both her daughter Holly as well as her granddaughter. She knows that I'm a fighter. She knows that I'm a winner and a go getter. And a go getter. This is not me, and this is the way she likes it. And I totally feel Holly when she says that. Me kind of sneaking around. I'm telling you, those stairs were so frigging creaky. And the way I was tiptoeing down the stairs, I think one time I almost like fell down because I was trying to tiptoe, and I think I had some things in my arms, and I almost lost, probably almost lost my life because I almost fell down the stairs like that. That would have been a huge issue. Um, you could lose your life or at least get badly injured if that happens. So I just remembered I was learning where the creeks were, and I was like trying to remember. Okay, go around the creek this way. Okay, let's go down. If I go down the edge, I'll go down on the very edge of the stair, the very like the far side of the stair. Then I think it creaks more in the middle. So I was like figuring all of this out, and I think I knew what light I could turn on because the lights were such that I didn't have to turn on the hallway light where the bed on the second floor where the bedrooms were, but I could turn on the light that was on the stairs. I think if I remember correctly, it's been a few years. I could turn on the light on the stairs and that wouldn't be bright enough to like light up the hallway. So then I could get away with that with so I could have some light to see where I'm going. Like I was figuring out all these logistics for how to sneak down just so I could get some food and water from the kitchen. And I would, depending on whether I was um, during the phase of being up all night, or I think the phase I'm thinking of is still being awake during the day, but just spending 18 plus hours in my room all day. I would then collect as much as I could. I had bought myself, I was buying my own groceries. So I maybe had found some time to cook something, or found an opportunity, I should say, to cook something. I would grab some of my snacks. I would take as much water as I could carry, and then I would sneak back up very quietly. Creak! Oh no. Creak! Oh no. Damn it. Okay. Up and back up to my room, to my safe place. And that, when Holly says, this is not me and this is the way she likes it, that's what I'm talking about. Me sneaking around, not being able to walk around with my chest out, my head up high, my shoulders, you know, relaxed, down and back and relaxed, but constantly crouched, shoulders up, maybe a little hunch, sneaking, almost falling down the stairs, trying to go just the slow walk, creak, creak. That wasn't me. That wasn't me, guys. I'm not me when I'm in a living in a situation where I'm being verbally assaulted, physically assaulted, where I'm being tortured. One thing that I wasn't going to mention, but I will, just because it just kind of fits, and it happened during this period of time. Um, During the pandemic, there was, towards the beginning of the pandemic, there was an alarm. I guess it was what was it? I don't know if I don't remember if it was a smoke alarm. I guess it wasn't carbon monoxide. It was probably the smoke alarm. There was one that was just in my room. There's one in my room. There was one in the upstairs hallway, and then there was another one down by the kitchen. I don't know why there was one in my room. I think maybe there were similar alarms in the other two bedrooms. So my mom's bedroom and then in the third bedroom. But the one in my room, for whatever reason, started to go off. And so I lived like this. Let me give you a little ASMR. I lived like this for, what was it, like 2 months, 3 months? I don't know how long, but it was every day, every 30 seconds. Beep, 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 beep. And it was this really high, piercing sound. So I guess I got used to it, but I couldn't sleep well because I'm living in my room and and right above my head in a small room, beep beep, literally every 30 seconds. So for my online job, we had to do meetings, and there was beep in the background, so I got in trouble with the company for that initially, and I was actually afraid that since I didn't have the cojones, the cojones to say, I'm going to get someone in here to fix this thing. Because my mom was all like, no, 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 it's the pandemic. There's a pandemic. Everybody is sick. We have to be careful. So she refused to have someone come. And it wasn't my house, so I felt like I shouldn't. And I guess I was probably also a little scared about, having someone come over and also not really knowing who the hell fixes that. Like, where would I find someone who can fix that thing? So yeah, I lived like that for months. I'm not sure how many months, but it was months. It was at least two. And she was fine because it wasn't in her room, so she was okay. I had to live with it. I had to sleep with that. And like I said, I probably wasn't sleeping very well. It was, oh boy, it was a terrible time. So glad to be out of that. So lucky. I'm so lucky because not everyone figures out that they're living with a toxic person. Not everyone um, understands what to do about it. Let me just check the chat here because for some reason it keeps welcoming me to the chat. There's something wrong with my connection or something. But yeah, whatever your story is, let me know. I want to hear from you. Are you okay now? Do you need someone to just give you a kind word? When I was going through this, I just needed, let's fix my view here. There we go. I just needed someone to be nice to me. I just needed someone to believe me. Now, how are you doing? How are you doing today? Let me know. Let me know in the comments, guys. Okay, so where was I? Boy, I keep digressing. Bear with me. I'm a talker. I'm a talker. I could talk for hours. I could talk for hours and days and years. So feel free to listen. So if you've ever felt like you couldn't be yourself for whatever reason, let me know in the comments. Tell me. I want to know. I want to know. I want to chat with you. So I had to get the hell out. Like I said, I decided to go no contact, and this is a decision that each individual has to consider carefully. Do you go no contact? Is it possible to go no contact? Are there people in your life that would prevent that from really being possible? It could be family, it could be friends, it could be other connections. Some people, maybe it's like who knows, it could be through family, friends, through work. But you know, what can you do? No contact. That worked for me, worked really well. Didn't have my mom in my life for three-ish years, two-ish, three-ish years. And then that was only because I decided to reinitiate contact on my own terms. And that was a very, 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 very low contact situation. But I had to get the hell out. When I was living with her in her house, I had to get the hell out. I knew that my survival required me to get the hell out of there, to get the hell out of there. So, did you ever leave? Did you ever move out? Did you ever feel, or do you feel like you've got to get the hell out? Let me know in the comments. So, next, let's just take a breather, take a breath. Let's say this affirmation together, guys. So, first, a breath in. Let's read this together. I am capable of making decisions that are best for me. I'm taking another deep breath. It feels so good. I didn't know what would become of me when essentially I fled the continent. I moved to another continent, and there were various reasons why I had to do that. That maybe I'll get into. I'm sure I'll get into in the future. But for me, leaving the continent was what worked best for me. Like I said, if I had ended up living too close to my mom, I probably would be back there, and who knows? Who knows what my life would be like now? It would definitely be worse, unless an opportunity had presented itself for me to get away safely again. I can almost guarantee you that my life would be so much worse than it is right now. I'm lucky to be separated from her. I'm lucky to be safe, to have a safe home, to have the ability to buy myself food. I learned that I am capable of making decisions that are best for me. Leaving was the best thing that I could have ever done. Leaving sooner would have been better, and leaving sooner and staying gone would have been great. But I just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to take that step. I had too much fear and irresponsibility was my middle name. You can call me Serafina Irresponsibility Day. So, but that's not me anymore. Well, I'm not the most responsible person. Sorry for the creaky chair. I'm not the most responsible person right now, but I did what I had to do. Like I said, I got the hell out of there, and my life is so much better for it. Did you get out? What ended up happening to you? How far did you move? Did you decide to go low contact? If you did, what did low contact look like for you? Do you see your parent or parents once a week? Do you visit with them once a month? Maybe you visit with them, maybe you meet them at a McDonald's or some other restaurant or somewhere neutral so that they don't have the upper hand. So if you're low contact right now, what does that look like for you? Please let me know in the comments. So That's the end of my chat for today. My gosh, I did not realize I could talk that much, but now I've learned something about myself, and I have to thank you for helping me get there. Please like, share, subscribe. If you're on Twitch, please sub, please follow. If you're on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe, comment. I want to chat with you. I want to know more about you. I want to give you some kind words. I want to connect with you. I'm going to be back online later this week. It's going to be Tuesday or Wednesday at the latest. So if you subscribe, then you'll get the notification. Click that bell as well. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.